Hello, 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 and welcome to the stream recap for all the streams regarding our iron farm. These are all the steps that it took to actually making our iron farm. And first up, we had to obviously get the system that we were going to be putting our iron farm in and using. So instead of going with the traditional water pathways, I wanted to do something more fun. And here we are actually testing whether or not we can use a zombie to bait iron golems into a bubble elevator. Spoiler alert, it works. This honestly was probably one of the most fun things I got to work on because it's literally just learning something new about the game. I don't ever do stuff like this, and being able to figure out that this is totally possible actually made the game so much fun. Oh. Guys. It worked. It worked. It worked. Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. You know why this is brilliant? So I can have my zombie here, right? I can have my zombie here. I can have my villagers here. I can have Iron Golem Lane. I can have Iron Golem Lane. Now, oh, jeez. Oh, oh. So obviously the first thing we had to do was actually build our chambers. So we're going to need both a chamber for the golem to spawn and for the villagers to sit and be afraid of. In that last clip, you heard me referencing 3 iron golem lanes after doing a little bit more digging into how it actually works. We're going to wind up just going with 1 iron golem lane and potentially adding in cells later on. But basically, I need to have my iron golem lane right above where my villagers are going to get freaked out. Now, this doesn't seem like a big deal. This isn't really a big deal, but it kind of is. And the reason it is because this means I now need 2 zombies. And I also need to make sure that when I get them into position, don't mind this. We had an incident at the farmer's market. Don't mind that. Right, now where was I? Yes, we had to put everything into a giant hole in order to lower it down. Now, this is a really great thing for everything because we can just simply put ladders down. We can lead everything on boats, and it made the villager transport incredibly easy. It actually made the zombie transport incredibly easy as well. It's just I put a zombie down there and then slept, and I suddenly was one less zombie and had to wait a whole another 20 minutes. I don't know why I was like that. Now, as you can see here, we're putting in a water channel. We are actually doing that because we want to actually be able to see the iron golems going around. The one reason why we have it coming to the surface is actually because we get the iron golems out of the spawning radius, which just speeds up the farm a little bit. Did I know this while I was doing it? No. Did I realize it after when I had 2 iron golems up in the channel at the same time? Yes, I did realize that afterwards, and I went, oh my gosh, I'm accidentally a genius. No, I'm still stupid. This could be more efficient. And Lord knows I needed to spawn proof about 13 separate caves. But it did work out. It did work out. There's also a quality of life thing that I noticed recently where you can actually place kelp right down on soul sand. I don't know why they made this change. I'm really happy they did. I don't know when it happened or if it's always been this way, but I'm fairly confident at one point you could only put kelp on top of dirt for some reason. And they made that change, and it's made this so much easier. How much iron is this going to get? But we don't need to put any signage on them, so should be good-ish. Everybody doing? We are going to be working on our streetlights tonight. If you didn't know, it gets quite dark around here. And honestly, these torches just don't do enough. You can see we have some torches down. They just don't do enough, though, to light up all of Finrad. So along all of our roads, we are actually going to be putting in streetlights. That is really, really good. We got our iron farm working. It's actually working really well. So a lot of times, by the time that guy is around to here, we'll actually have another golem popping up into the air and actually landing in here. Or landing up there and starting the journey around. Now, one issue, a lot of them wind up getting turned around, which is really great over here because they'll just kind of walk off on their own into the fire. But over here, not so good because they get hung up a little bit, and you probably saw it a little bit there. But they'll get hung up like that. You see right there? They get hung up like that, which isn't ideal, but it's something we would live with. So part of the reason why I want to do like a zoo is because a zoo and a national park are like really, really similar, just slightly different. So I'm going to get this moss laid down. And the reason why I'm doing moss is because I want this to start getting greener and like a lot more vibrant the deeper we go into the city. So like I don't have an issue with grass up there. I do have an issue with grass back here because grass isn't as vibrant in this terrain. Don't worry about it. But there's a very good chance we have to take this backside off. I actually really, really like that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I really like the look overall, and the fact that we do this all with dark oak, I actually really like, because like I love dark oak. I love using dark oak. It's just I never get to use it. Another one escaped. Like that. Now, if we do this properly, we will land right where we need to be on the next one. And if we do that, then we won't need to do that really weird jumpy thing. After we finished up all the street lights that we wanted to put in, the next stream we were back to building the iron farm. This time we're working on the outer shell though. And if this isn't a great metaphor for life, the first idea that I had did not go the way that I was hoping it would, so we quickly realized that we were doing the wrong thing, and we wound up tearing it all down. If you have frequented my streams, you will realize this is actually a lot more of a common occurrence than you might think it is. And I gotta be honest, I'm kind of concerned about how frequent it actually happens, but I do believe there's a great metaphor in if something's not working, just start over. It's not that big of a deal. It might seem like it's a big deal at the time, but with the way this build turned out, it really did not seem like it was a big deal to start tearing this thing down. I genuinely thought I had a good idea the first time, and boy, I was proven wrong in a hurry. But that second idea, I think I just heard a witch. Now that was a real beaut. I did hear a witch. So what I think I'm gonna do instead is it's gonna be very similar to this in that the front is very open because I want it to be like, okay, we really need to ventilate everything. We're going to incorporate something like this. We're going to have like 3 furnaces, and then they're all feeding into the sword and going out. So, yeah, that's how we're going to incorporate the sword. Now, with this new design, that does mean that we need to resource gather, for you're never going to guess it. Deep slate and spruce. Yep, that's right. We're going back to the tried and true. So we first started by collecting some spruce for the floors. I thought we had enough. And it turns out we needed to collect more spruce. Thankfully, I just have random spruce trees growing for no reason at all. Don't ask questions. Out in front of Vinrat. So it worked out. Then we needed to go get more deep slate. And while mining for more and more deep slate, I realized I had a stack of TNT. In my inventory, and I wonder how much deep slate I could get with the one block of TNT. And let's just say we're onto something. And in the upcoming streams, you're gonna notice a heavy influence for one reason and one reason alone. I love deep slate. I hate mining deep slate. If I can blow stuff up and get the exact item that I love, we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be doing a lot of that. Wonderful. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really enjoying doing this like this. Is it conventional? Not in the slightest. Is it working really well? Yes, actually, I find that it is. And I think you can see pretty quickly why I say that rebuilding worked out really, really well. Like, incredibly well. And we're still going to be able to incorporate the sword. If you wonder what I mean by that, we're going to be having a sword coming straight out of the building. It's going to be like it was stabbed in there, it was dropped in there. And it's going to be massive. I am genuinely love how this sword actually winds up looking and how this build looks with it in it, because it is incredible. We may become master builders. This might be the moment that'll change everything. Everybody will look at us and go, you are a master builder. Or it could be an incident where people will look at us and go, you're insane for thinking that would work. But pretty much we're going to have a sword going out from there. Oh my gosh. I'm usually so good at names. So the sword's actually challenging me a lot of the ways. I'm not used to using different shades within an item. To me, when I see an iron sword, I only see iron on the sword. But there's so many shades that in a lot of ways, it's forcing me to be a better builder because I needed to go get concrete. I needed to go get terracotta. I couldn't rely just solely on iron in order to make this sword, because if I did that, the build wouldn't come together. It wouldn't look good. There'd be no shaders. It'd just be a giant block of iron in the sky. And this is one of the ways where I see moments like this as improvement sections, in ways that I get better as a builder, in ways that I'll be surprised when I do something even bigger, but this was the first step for it. This was the first step for me understanding that and the importance of it, and it's also really helpful just having that template just chilling out in my left hand. But yeah, so story time. So when I was down in Costa Rica, one of the biggest things, when I was down in Costa Rica, the first day we were there, because a lot of our donors go on these trips, and that will be really relevant as to why I'm saying that right now. But so when I was down in Costa Rica, the first day we were there, we have a lot of donors that go on these trips. So what they tend to do is they tend to schedule a free day where we go to the beach. They're also scheduling cultural days so we get to experience Costa Rica more. So what we did for our cultural event was we were hiking through, best explanation, volcanoes. Best explanation is straight up volcanoes. If you don't know, Costa Rica is 100% all volcanic rock. Means is that everything that you might walk through is actually volcanic rock, right? So we're hiking through this valley between these two volcanic cliffs, and we're hiking along a river. That's what cut the valley. So we're going through the river, doing all that stuff, and we get to these two very close rock faces that there is rapids and like a 2 foot step up, 2 to 3 foot step up, and then you get to this little calm pool where there's just this beautiful waterfall in the middle of it, right? So we're climbing through all that, and full disclosure, I need to work on my weight. Like, every time I go in, they're like, hey, we really got to do something about your weight. Like, but I'm not like 300 pounds away from being healthy. I'm like 50 to 100, right? I would say actually probably closer to 100 from being healthy. So we're hiking through this mountain, and it is hard, but like I get through it, and we get to this waterfall. And when I tell you that all of my anxiety disappeared in that waterfall, like in that moment, I am not exaggerating. Like straight up, all of it disappeared. I cannot explain to you how it did, but it did. I've had a lot of issues with self-confidence, with anxiety, with depression. And while we were there in Costa Rica, I'm actually going to need to start here then. Right? No, I might need to start up higher. But while we were there in Costa Rica, we climbed through this waterfall, we climbed through all this stuff, and it melted my anxiety. Like, I came back a changed person, not because of the distribution. I came back a different person because for the first time in my life, I felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. To give you an idea, like, and this is why I say, like, do manufacturing, but have a plan to get out. I had spent 9 years working manufacturing, and it destroyed me. Like, in every single sense of the word, it destroyed me. My anxiety went through the roof. I was starting to destroy relationships. It was terrible. But it destroyed me, and when I left it, I was just basically sitting there going, please God, give me a sign that I'm at least going the right direction. And 8 years prior to all of this, I had a dream where I was walking up on a waterfall. I'm going to straight up, it wasn't exactly the same. Like, it wasn't exactly the same way that I walked up. it was something that in my brain was possible at the time. So it was something that was possible at the time. So we were walking on a rope bridge through two mountain cliffs, or through two rock cliffs. And we rounded the corner and we were staring straight up at a waterfall. We were walking up and I looked up at the waterfall, and in that moment I felt as if I was right where I was supposed to be in that dream. But I woke up going, I'm never going to be in that spot. There's never going to be a reason why I'm looking up at a waterfall and feel like I have my life together or feel like I'm on the right path. There's never going to be a reason. There's never going to be a moment where I feel like that. And then down in Costa Rica, that happens. Like, so I remembered that dream 2 weeks before we went down to Costa Rica. A week before we go down, we get a message from one of our partners' employees, and they're like, hey, we got something really cool planned. We're going to be doing something really cool. I think everybody's going to really like it. It's going to be really cool. And he mentions this, and he's like, oh no, it's only like a 30-minute thing. We're not signing up for the hard thing. They got it like a thing where you like climb through the valleys, you climb through the rivers. We're not doing that. We're just going to drive to it. It'll be like 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. We'll be good, and we'll go unload the trailer. He wholeheartedly could have booked the correct thing. He could have booked the correct thing, because at that point, I'm not going to say it to anybody, but starting with me at that point, God had taken control of that trip. And when I say my anxiety washed away, I mean it literally in that moment disappeared. I came back completely different because of it. And I say that I say that very heavily, where I said God took control of that trip, because we have chairs. We have chairs that we never ship out because nobody ever needs them. Because nobody in these countries are that size. Like, nobody in these countries are that size. So we just have chairs that we don't send out. What we'll do is we'll scrap them down. We'll use them in chairs that we do send out. In one of these boxes, boxed up, was a 28-inch chair that on the day, and me and Fabio is his name. He was the guy down there that's like their chair expert. Him and I were looking at this chair going, what the heck? Like, this shouldn't even be here. Why is this here? And then he sends a message to our group chat, or to the leader of Movienda Esperanzas at Alita. Look up Movienda Esperanzas. Truly a great organization. The one I work for is Hope Haven International. Again, great organization, but I love the people over in Costa Rica too. So, yeah, Millen. I need to change that to light gray in the middle there. We were looking at this 28-inch chair going, why do we have this chair? Yeah, like, why do we have this chair here? Like, why is this 28-inch chair here? We're on our way back from the beach, and Adelita turns around and goes, I want you all to know, we had a situation today where we received a chair that we didn't ask for. We received a 28-inch chair. She's like, we got a chair that we didn't intend to receive with the 28-inch chair. And I'm like, oh no, she's going to tell on us. Like my brain's going, okay, where's she going with this, right? Natural, right? And then she's sitting there going, well, Fabio just got back from scheduling everything. So Fabio had gone back and he was going through and processing paperwork because they are really, really good at what they do. They've been doing this for 30 years. We've been doing it for 35, right? They are like what we try to model every single country based on how they do their distributions. And she was like, we received this 28-inch chair. We didn't know what we were going to do with it. All right, Catalyst. All good. Stay awesome, be awesome. Don't forget that you're loved and that you make the world a better place by being it. Stay awesome, be awesome. And we don't know what we were going to do with it. Well, Fabio was going through the files, and he found this gentleman. And this gentleman's sizing is for a 28-inch chair. Now, I am on this trip with my boss at the time. That's one of the reasons why I went, is because, like, okay, I'm not going to be the one in charge of the trip. My boss is going to be there. He's been on 50, 40, I don't know. He lost track of how many trips he's been on. And his head whips around so fast, looking at me like, no way. They had a gentleman, like, that day put in a request for a 28-inch chair. And we all just we were sitting there like, okay. Meaningless. And having a boss that thinks that like that, just, it means the world. So. William F. Oh no, Freddy. Freddy, run. Freddy, run. Okay, so this is going to sound really, really funny. The only reason I remembered is like cyan terracotta. Look at what we built. So naturally, the next step in the project is to do the upper layer. Now, what I'm actually going to do is a bit different than what I normally do. I'm actually going to build like just a section layout of what I want, because I could clearly see it in my head at this point. I just needed to know if it would work in the space that I had and how many of them I would be able to fit. And I'm not going to lie, I really liked it. I also think it comes out looking really, really good once we put it up on the wall, because it does. So this is going to work for the where everything's supposed to go. Yeah. If this was 23, that's going to work out perfect. Okay, so that, and I think honestly what I do is I just restart this whole process, right? Yeah, I just restart this whole process, and so they wind up over there. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to just go all the way up to the top like this. Wonderful. Drop down. Wonderful. Go like that. Yeah. We're working on our iron farm. We're finishing up the build. Now we're just putting some furnishings in it. Got the sword through the top. Got our golem track. That was like one of our first things done. And it's all down here, so we can add more cells if we wanted to, but yeah. Yeah. So here at the end, all we're doing is we're putting in an auto sorter and auto crafter. That way all of our flowers turn into bone meal, which is a lot more helpful to us and all of our iron bars turn into just iron blocks, which are a lot easier to store. So that's all we're doing here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This build came out looking amazing. I'm definitely going to be learning a lot from editing down this first stream. Some of the things I need to look out for and things I need to do. But yeah, if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you hopefully in a stream or in the next video. Bye. But I'm going to get off there. So as always, stay awesome. Be awesome. Don't forget that you're loved. Don't forget that you make the world a better place by being in it. Stay awesome. Be awesome. I'll catch you in the next stream. Bye.